I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what's this cracker know about black experience or being black? I'll tell you, I know less than nothing. But I am a human being. And I do think of Breonna Taylor at least once a week. I love looking at that picture of her. She looks so proud. I think she was an EMT. George Floyd Jr. I don't think of him as much, but I often wondered if I was standing in that corner and watching what was going on, if I was angry enough or had the courage enough to run over to that cop and knock him off of George. I wish I could say that I would, but I doubt it. And what haunts me today is about a young, skinny black guy walking out of a convenience store with his white plastic bag, I guess, with his items that he bought inside. And the police gets a report saying there's a sketchy character walking around. So they get out and they confront him and they end up on top of him. And he goes unconscious. Then later on, I think medics came and gave him ketamine. But he died. I had to look up his name. His name is Elijah McClain. This review's on the movie Alice. I'm the anger guy, and I'm going to tell you like it is. At the beginning of the film, it read, inspired by true events. I hoped and pray it wasn't, but in my research found out May Lewis Wall Miller was enslaved in Mississippi until she escaped. This was the film's inspiration. My advice to you. When a person is watching and listening to any media outlet that puts out news, you might hear half-truths to stir up the public masses. For example, a while ago I heard on the news that black folks formed a class action lawsuit seeking reparations as descendants of enslaved people. I remember that headline and recalled I really didn't know how I felt about that, about people getting paid for their enslaved ancestors. But when doing my research for the 2020 movie Alice, it was May Miller and 6 of her siblings joined a class action suit seeking reparations as descendants of enslaved people since it really happened to them. Unfortunately, the lawsuit was dropped by a judge in 2004. In 2021, a proposal committee offered $10 million of future tax proceeds from recreational cannabis sales tax will go to a reparation program that was approved to go into effect. I feel good about that. Hopefully, who enslaves black or anyone are sent to prison for the rest of their lives. That's what I hope and pray for. If you're thinking about watching the 2020 movie Alice, please don't read any reviews with spoilers. It just ruins the mystery and the intrigue of the film. This film was a reminder of another movie I viewed, and in that movie explained why none of the enslaved people didn't see anything in the sky while being confined. The 2022 film Alice didn't bring that fact up to the audience. There's so much I want to explain, but will be so careful of not spoiling the movie for you. Keke Palmer portrayed Alice perfectly. Personally, I would have said she did an Oscar-worthy performance, but towards the very end of the film, I feel something was bothering her in her personal life. Common did an excellent performance portraying Frank. Frank did exactly what I thought Common would do in real life. Johnny Lee Miller portrayed the owner of the plantation, Paul Bennett, who was a complete asshole and personally thought he was mentally disturbed. Who surprised me the most was Mrs. Bennett, Paul's wife, who was portrayed by Madeline Curtis. She was a righteous bitch and didn't have any thoughts of guilt in how she treated people or how she was raising her son. To me, the ending of the film, Alice, was unfinished. There was so much more to be seen and said and how everything worked out dealing with all the people. I felt federal authorities could have been trusted and present during the film. What I respected about the film was it showed me Since Emancipation Proclamation, everyone now should realize in some social circles and situations they have not changed that much. As naive I thought I wasn't, I didn't realize how separate some groups of people are in recent years since the covers were pulled back and showed everyone the ugliness beliefs what some people still believe. Out of an alphabetic score, I give the film Alice a C+. If the ending gave more detail on how some things worked out, my grade would have been higher. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you viewing and value your comments. Thank you. Thanks.